What's up guys, you're watching Life by TCG. Got a video for you today on Flesh and Blood Classic Constructed. So a few people on my previous video were asking about this list, whether I can show some gameplay of it, and I thought I might as well do that. So before we get into any games on Talishar, I'll just quickly run through the deck. One big change is that now the weapon I'm using is Nebula Blade. Of course, the main gimmick of this list, well, I wouldn't really say it's a gimmick, but the main idea behind it is that there's no cards that give go again. There's no shadow puppetry, there's no Morvrian skies. So with that in mind, the signature weapon for Vynnset, the Flail of Agony, becomes much worse. Because you can't give Deathly Wail go again into attacking with Flail. So assuming that that's the way you want to build the deck, it motivates you to play another weapon other than Flail. So in the previous video, I thought the best options for that might be either Dread Scythe or Reaping Blade, just because it's relatively difficult to get the buff off of Nebula Blade when you don't have cards like Morvrian Skies in your deck. But I've come around to the idea that Nebula Blade just having the highest upside is the most relevant aspect of it. Like, there are enough opportunities where you can play Runeblood Incantation with Go Again into attacking with Nebula Blade, or you don't play any non-attack action, you just attack with Nebula Blade. Then if they take any damage from a Runechant that's triggered by that attack, you can play Funeral Moon after blocks and it will pump this up to 4. So there's quite a few little tricks that you can do. Overall, the way that this deck works, you don't end up attacking with any weapon very often anyway. It's all very marginal which one that you pick. So because of that, it just seems worth playing the one that has the biggest upside if you do ever work the game into a spot where you have a turn where you want to attack. Another really good use of Nebula Blade is in the grindy matchups where you board in Looming Doom. If you Sonata Galaxia to put your Looming Doom into play, it eats all your Runechants, so you can't really Runegate attack from your Banish Zone that turn. But with the Go Again, it's a perfect opportunity to get in an attack with your Nebula Blade, so that's a good combo as well. So yeah, Nebula Blade is the weapon I'm using. Apart from that, all the other equips are the same. 2 Blessing of Occult, I really like having 2. Before I was on the fence whether you wanted to play 1 or 2. Now I definitely think I like having 2. The rest of the list I think is the same. In the main deck, yeah, I was definitely playing all of these before. In the sideboard, it's maybe a little bit different. So I still have these Beseech the Demigon, Sigil of Suffering, Chains of Mephetis, 2 Looming Doom, and the Oblivion. I think that was all in the previous video. I don't know if I had 3 Read the Runes in the previous video, and the 3 Deathly Delight would also be new. So the idea with these cards is you usually boarding in Beseech the Demigon, Sigil of Suffering, and 1 Read the Runes, I would say, is the kind of stock configuration that just lets you maximize the way that the deck wants to play. So this doesn't cost any action points, this doesn't cost any action points, it's just good value that's easy to use. And then I just board in 1 random Read the Runes to get a little bit of extra setup, or to get value off of creepers a bit. So that's pretty generic sideboard that's used in a lot of matchups. Then in the matchups where you want to be really more aggressive, and Sigil of Suffering is not that good, you expect your opponent can easily AB it, or you don't really need to care about blocking that much, you board in all the Beseech the Demigons, the 3 Read the Runes, and the 1 Oblivion, because having the mega Read the Runes makes it very easy to play Oblivion. whenever you happen to find it. And then in games where you brought in Chains and Mephetis, what the rest of the sideboard does depends on what your opponent's deck is doing. So, for example, if you're playing against like Kayo, you can just board in like the 3 chains, the Beseech the Demigons, and like the 1 Read the Runes again, or like 1 Sigil of Suffering. You just have to sort of like figure out what kind of configuration you want to have in your deck that complements chains, because that can be a bit different depending on the matchup. And then the Deathly Delight is in the sideboard just so you can basically like fat deck and board in almost your entire sideboard versus grindy matchups that want to fatigue you. Because if you're trying to fat deck versus fatigue and you're boarding in Beseech the Demigon, Read the Runes, Sigil of Suffering, Looming Doom, the Oblivion, these are like all generically good cards that it can be fine to board in versus anyone really. I mean, like, this is just damage, defense, damage. Like it's not like it's specific versus any niche strategy. So you can board in all these cards versus like Guardian or whatever, and that's fine. But none of those are like RuneGate cards. So if you board in all of these because you're trying to fat deck versus fatigue, you like dilute the ratio of RuneGate cards in your main deck too much, and you have a lot of awkward turns where you'd like fail to banish attacks. So Deathly Delight is basically in the sideboard just for that. It lets you board up to way more cards, so hopefully stand a better chance versus fatigue strategies, while not screwing up your ratios of RuneGate cards too much. And then the equipment in the sideboard, basically just anti-arcane damage. This might be overkill, but it's very hard to think of what other card I want to play in this one remaining sideboard slot. So yeah, that's what the deck looks like at the moment. There's been a new card that's just spoiled for Vynnset, a new Shadow Runeblade card. I don't know. I don't know if that card is going to be good or not. One obvious application for it in a build like this. That card's called Eloquent Eulogy, I think. It's a 1-cost red attack action, Shadow Runeblade attack action. It has Runegate, Blood Debt, attacks for 4, blocks for 3. When the combat chain closes, if any player lost life this turn, you create an Eloquence token. So a 1-cost Runegate card is very interesting. But the way that this deck is set up is it's kind of like trying to optimize in a way that like the bottleneck is on action points. So you're just trying to play like one enormous attack every turn. That's why you're set up to play like Vantom Banshee rather than Vantom Wraith or whatever, because you're trying to pump out like Runechant so you can consistently Runegate your 3-cost attacks as much as possible. So like if you're spending your turn on a 1-cost Runegate attack that's only 4 power, that's really not ideal. So if you can overhaul the whole deck so that the Eloquence tokens make it so that you don't have to rely on like Putrid Stirrings to have double Runegate cards or like double spell from your banner zone, that could be really good, but it seems either very difficult to consistently do that, or you become extremely dependent on spellbound creepers. So I don't know if that would necessarily work. Like if you have Eloquence token and you go like play your first Runegate attack, creepers read the runes with go again, make your 3 Runechants, play another like 3-cost Runegate attack, that's a really strong turn and that's a really good use of an Eloquence token. But I just don't know if you can consistently rely on that or not. So I'm going to be testing that when it comes out for sure, because I'm still a bit underwhelmed by Putrid Stirrings as a way to clear out your banish zone and like stock up damage, so you can unload it all in one big turn. I talked about that concept a bit in the previous video I did on this deck. So, but yeah, I don't want to just talk about this deck anymore. You guys say that you want to see some gameplay of it, so I will oblige. So I literally have no idea how to use Telesharp properly apart from clicking this button on February. So so you gotta ignore all this. This is probably out of date. I don't update the February thing properly very often. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. So yeah, you can see all the equipment here. I don't even know if this is actually an improvement or not versus Kano. I need to test the matchup. But yeah, this was like the last card in my sideboard. I didn't know what to add. So okay, we're playing against Kayo. That's a very popular deck right now. That's a good good opponent to have. So we want the Chains of Mephetis to shut down all the draw discard effects. Beseech the Demigon is just one of the most efficient cards that we can use. And then the last card, probably either we want one Sigil of Suffering or the one Read the Runes. Because my opponent's going first, I'm going to skip the Read the Runes and put the Sigil of Suffering as the last card. Okay, so this is a pretty awkward hand. We don't have a lot of good setup on turn 1. Is my opponent attacking with us or activating it? Oh, they're just activating it. It makes sense. Yeah, okay, so the opponent's given us a bit of an awkward turn 1. So we're going to lose a card. If we pitch into Grasp, we won't have enough mana to play Blessing, so that's not going to happen. So we can banish this. Play this. And we'll ask on the Putrid Stirrings. Not ideal, but not terrible either. Gonna have this coming off next turn. Hopefully that will allow us to okay. So it looks like we're not going to be able to play this Putrid Stirrings next turn. That's fine. Unless we crown now. Which might be worth it actually here, I think. Because this attack is coming in for a lot as well. Okay. So now we can, if we block this, banish this, so it's like three damage either way, because we're either pitching this or like, so I think we just take the damage. Taking a lot here. But now we get to return the favor a little bit. So the question here is, do we want to play this or Arsenal it? I think we will put this in Arsenal because it's going to be pretty important for... Well, the thing is that it could help us play a Deathly Wail later with the trigger to make Runechants, but I don't want to expose it to Arsenal destruction. So I'm just going to play it now. So we have big damage turns too, it's not just a one-sided battle here. Getting in for 15. But it was pretty awkward because we didn't manage to get our Runeblood Incantation down in the first few turns, and now we have a brick turn where we can't attack. So this is where the Nebula Blade comes in a bit more useful, I guess. Don't have anything that blocks very well either, which is not ideal. So next turn we pitch the blue into this and this, which means we have to banish one of these, which means we can only block with one card effectively. So I think I'm gonna try to Arsenal this, banishing this off of the Vynnset effect. So I'm just gonna block with Grasp now because I'm dying too fast and I don't want to waste the Battle Worn on it. Yeah, my opponent was just a little bit too efficient that game, I think. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, see, this is why I didn't want to put the Beseech the Demigon in my arsenal before. So this has to stay in my hand. This I can basically block with everything else. Let's try that. Damn, that's tough. Yeah, I think I have to do that. It's unfortunate we haven't seen any chains this game, and they have had the like double pulping plus blood rush. Okay. Well, we're mounting a little bit of a comeback here. So we're gonna do this with Tunic and then block with it, I think. So we'll just play this. No. There's a pretty relevant question of whether we actually want to arsenal this or not. Because we're very unlikely to ever have 4 resources available to play this. But it's also not really doing much in our hand right now, so I think I want to get rid of it. Okay, so now block with this and this, cover that up fully, right? Ooh, this game's getting a little bit spicy. I'm prepared to die to a reckless swing here. Going to 1. Coming in for lethal now. Can we survive? No go again or nothing. What's the plan? Did they have go again? I don't even know what happened there. Okay, so can I survive? I have to block with both of these now. I guess that turn was forced. I couldn't have done anything different. Uh-oh. If my opponent's on 1, maybe I could make something happen here, but I think I'm dead. So... this blocks for 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think I'm just dead here. Doesn't matter what I do. Yeah. Pretty close. Had some awkward turns in there. We'll try play one more. Just a bit unfortunate that we couldn't draw our cards in the right order. But that's the Vynnset problem, right? It's possible that the Sigils are better than Beseech in that matchup, just to try and stabilize a bit better. For a while, really early after Heavy Hitters came out, there were quite a few people with no AB, but then like everybody figured out that Kayo was one of the top decks, so you don't really see that anymore, which makes this card a bit worse. In that game, I wonder if I had, did I block with Tunic in the same turn that I arsenaled the, widespread blue card? What's that one called again? Annihilation. Because that ended up not doing anything and I could have saved the Tunic. Would I have had, would I have enough turns to get another activation out of it? I can't remember. But, yeah, this is taking a while, so just check the, I'll put the section in the video when the next game starts. It used to be when I was on this Teleshire, like I would be on the screen, like wondering why it was taking so long for anybody to join my games. But you oh, this is okay. Azalea I think is even a worse matchup than Kayo. So what are we gonna do here? I don't think it's worth bringing in chains just as like an anti-death dealer thing. At least we get to go first. This is not great either. Because we can't even, like, if we grasp, then we can't even arsenal. So, the other good thing about that new card, the one cost rune gate, is that having one cost attacks in your deck is really good versus Codex. Which this deck doesn't really have at the moment. And especially one cost rune gate cards, because versus Assassin, if they bring back Leave No Witnesses and they banish the card from your arsenal, you can just play it again. What's the opponent doing over there? Is this legal? You can just peek at their top two cards without doing anything. I don't know how this works on Teleshire, I'll just let them go through with it, I don't really care. Well, they're doing the same thing anyway, so I guess it was maybe just a misclick. Bolt and shot. This hits, lose Arsenal. Okay, that's not great either, but... Okay, that's also annoying. So, what's the plan for this turn? We're gonna banish this, have one Runechant. We're gonna play this off of this, the trigger, meaning that we're not blocking. Well, his dominate anyway, so we're just dereacting with this. Maybe we could have crowned here, but I don't know if it's worth it. Like, there's gonna be a point later in the game where crown is good. We might be able to stop something more impactful than this. But that's a very debatable choice, I think. Maybe this player is just not that familiar with the Teleshard, they don't realise they have to click. Normally I'm not so impatient with the chat, it's just because I'm recording. I don't want you guys to get bored. Yeah, this matchup's really tough. They just have the like exact right combination of effects that make your life difficult. Because if you try and go all in on just attacking them and ignoring what they're doing, like their DPS is probably higher than yours, and they will still be disrupting you. But they have just like the exact right combination of like dominate and everything that makes it hard for you to block as well. So it seems to be a really hard matchup, this one. Well, this doesn't look very good for me. My opponent's totally ignoring this, and I'm losing my sync. This hand's not bad. Sigil's pretty good versus Azalea because they're so red heavy. Okay, just a damage. So we've got to remember that we're not going to be able to arsenal this if we get hit, so we might as well just block with it. Maybe I should have just let this go and seen what's coming up next. Yeah, that probably would have been better. But I guess we'll just see. Surely my opponent has something else coming here, right? I feel like I've probably screwed this up. But we'll find out, I suppose. Okay. Well, it looks like we might be blocking with our equipment here. That's not going to cover that. I think the play here then, they only have what, that account don't have this. I think the play here then is just blocking with creepers, just to like use the armor the most efficiently. Okay, that wasn't the worst turn for us. I feel like that could have gone been a lot more troublesome than it turned out to be. Am I paying life here? No. I don't. I've already got one card in my banner zone. I don't want to randomly get another one. At least we're keeping up on the damage. But again, we're now in like a mid-game situation where we have no setup for next turn, so this might be a bit awkward. This can be a situation where we block out our whole hand and use the attack we've already got. We just have to see if that lines up. See, we're in a situation where even if we get hit by this, it's not the end of the world. because we're going to get one Runechant off of our D-React, and we're going to have one Runechant from our turn. We'll just play this, so like we're not even that bothered by the effect of this. But we are going to block as much of this as we're allowed to. But this is going to have Dominate, right? Which is annoying. Calm down, opponent. Yuck. So how do we want to block it then? And getting a Ponder token, so we're obviously not being able to block all of this. I wonder if there's a question which one to use. I'm pretty sure I'll just use this one now. Is this the time we want to empty the banish zone? We push this with banish. Banish this is out of our turn. Attack with the Widespread Ruin Arsenal, the yellow one. I don't know if I'm going to regret that, but the problem is that if we banish this Vantom Banshee at the start of our turn, we're like very low on ways to generate Runechants to use it. So I think it's better to Arsenal Reduce rather than Envelop. That might not be true because we don't have any. Well, they're both a Runechant generator. One's worse versus this. Yeah, this is worse versus Release the Tension. This is worse versus Red in the Ledger. I think it's this. We can always crown it away if anything weird happens. But maybe it would have been correct to use the crown right at the start. Because we haven't really found a good spot for it so far. Surely my opponent finds a block. No? Okay. So it feels like we're going to be blocking with Grasp pretty soon, otherwise we're going to be wasting it. Again, I don't think we've seen any Sonata or any incantation in this game, which is not great. This hand is really bad as well. We might be able to play a card if we grasp, but I'm going to have to do the math on whether I have enough resources. Like if I banish Deathly Wail, but I'm going to have to reduce as well. So like if I pitch this into reduce, banish Deathly Wail, then I have 2 Runechants and I won't have this. Yeah, this is going to be impossible, I think. Maybe there's a line I can take with Nebula Blade if I draw a... Can I play this if I have no targets in my banner zone? Just so I can get a Nebula Blade attack off? I don't even know if you can do that. What's going on? 3 damage, 3 damage. Uh-oh. That's a lot of damage. It feels weird because like it's so scary, but we're up by 9 actually. What's this got on it? Inertia and +3. My opponent's just exiled a Rain Razors. We might be in an okay spot if we can block this. What happens if we... If we do this, we try to play this off this. And then we have this coming in 1 turn later. If we get Rain Razor here, it's really bad. But, well, it's not the end of the world, I guess. Well, we're not planning on playing any action cards. My opponent's also smoked. Oh no, they haven't. So we're AB from this. I think we're just blocking with this now, just to get it out of the way. Do I block with this as well? What's better? Yeah, you know what? I think I do. Okay, this is coming out really good. So we can block with both of these. Beseech this. Tons of damage. Hit Arsenal. Got the armor as well if we need it. Frailty, okay. Is that another one? Okay. So pass. Because if this is an arrow, they're gonna reload. I fully block this, they'll arsenal this, and I widespread and smoke it. Wait, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, right? I'm not sinking. It's possible I should have just blocked with this and saved crown. It's a little bit hard to evaluate. Oh, fuck you. Jeez. Okay, what did he get? See, this is a spot where a 1-cost attack would be quite nice, I suppose. So now we are blocking with this Beseech because it's not doing anything anyway. I guess we get this back because it's the easiest one. Well, we can't block with this because it's going to be discarded. Getting this back because it's just the easiest one to cast. Discarding this so we can actually have a play next turn. Yeah, we gotta take this. At least we get the value off this from eating the Fonda token. Yeah, I guess if we had actually blocked with the Beseech the Demigon instead of Crown, we would have gotten Giga punished, because the Codex would have discarded this, and we would have just had a completely dead turn here. Why did they do it like this? They could have just blocked. Okay, they just took 1 extra damage for no reason, I guess. Fine by me. Okay, so now we're in a pretty juicy spot. We've got to remember that we can widespread by pitching this. Opponent's only got 2 cards. Tunic, of course, helps a lot. How bad is it if I get Rain Razed here? So the plan here is we block with Envelop, block with Sonata, cover that up, start a turn, banish Funeral Moon, pitch Widespread into Widespread. Then opponent hopefully takes at least 1 damage and we can get that out of the banish zone. So we're blocking with both of these. The like worst case scenario is like Snapdragon's Codex. This isn't even that bad. I don't really care about 2 extra damage. I guess he can Snapdragons it now, and then he can play it again, right? No, he can't, because he's no way to put it back in his arsenal. Okay. Now opponent is in a bit of a pickle, I think. Taking 1. How are they blocking this? It's not a fun situation for an Azalea player to be in, I don't think. Okay. I'll do that. No. Oh, we didn't find any attack. We might have to find a spot to Nebula here. If we like block with this, start of the turn, banish this, then pitch this into this 2 mana floating blade. I mean, because that's still 3 Runechants plus a Nebula Blade, like that's not nothing. Oh, fuck. Okay, that was like worst case scenario. This dominate? Ouch. Did I play an action card? I mean, I feel like I kinda have to go for it, right? Against Azalea with 5 cards, I'm with 3. Show me what you got. Makes sense. So they're blocking this out. Yeah. What an exciting game. Unfortunately, this is a very non-ideal hand that we've just drawn. So what we can actually do though is we can banish this to Vynnset, play play this pitching this, and then Tunic plus Read the Runes gives another Nebula Blade attack. And we can still block with Sync, but well, that might not work anymore if they have this. And Codex, shit. Why Endless Arrow? have any other 0 cost? Okay. So then, this is coming for 7. Block with this. I mean, it's gotta be this, right? Like 1 damage just wins the game, no matter what. Block, block, block. Oh, wait. Hang on. Discard this, block, block. Start of my turn, I can't banish this because I'll die. Wait, hang on. If I block with both of these and Tunic, then I can banish this for my turn and put Sync in my... No, because I have to discard something still. So that doesn't help, right? It's getting late. Same thing. So I just block. If I pitch stacked my Funeral Moon here, I would want to draw it, but I haven't, so I won't. See, this is a situation where Reaping Blade might actually win the game, and Nebula Blade is not doing it, which is unfortunate. There's no way we should survive unless they're completely bricked. That's Codex for you, I suppose. Well, for better or worse, we don't have a D-React in our arsenal. That's the like least relevant on hit at the moment probably. And that one's also not super exciting given that the game's about to end anyway. Well, the reason why this is tragic is because we have so many 2-blocks. That's a big number. And we can only block for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If only we had drawn a Sigil of Suffering, then that would have actually won the game. But we did not find one. So it was very close. I wonder if I made a mistake at the start with not using Crown to save my arsenal. Oops. But yeah, Azalea I'd say is one of the slightly more difficult matchups. Anyway, let's go back to the February. So these are the 2 losses that we just had, sadly, but the win rate overall is still not bad. Gotta ignore the labels. I tried playing Scepter of Pain over the Nebula Blade for a while as the weapon, with the shield as the offhand, that's not bad either. It's very hard to land on a most optimal weapon. Yeah, Azalea is slightly unfavored. Kayo is still very favored, but it might have just been like a thing at the start of the format where people's lists were a lot more optimized, but my opponent had a pretty insane couple of turns in that game, so hard to say. But yeah, people were asking to see some gameplay of how this deck runs, so I feel like maybe we didn't run that great, to be honest. Like, we didn't have our Runechant generators in play a lot of the time, it felt like, but we still didn't do too badly, and we managed to come pretty close to a couple of wins there. So anyway, that's going to be all for this video. If you have any questions or whatever about the deck, make sure you let me know in the comments below, and I'll be waiting for the next set to come out to see if I can make that new card work, the Eloquent Eulogy. So this has been Li-Fi TCG signing out.